Welcome to News Edition. Today, everyone who's watching Rwanda'S TV. You're going to be with me, Princess Mugisha. Let's start with the news headlines. President Boss Diomaye Faye ends the state visit to Rwanda with a car-free day participation. Rwanda's artificial intelligence drive is expected to add $589 million to the economy annually. On the international scene, Iran executes a man convicted of for Israel. Let's take a short break and we'll be back into the news details. Welcome back into the news details, and let's start to news in Rwanda, where President Boss Diomaye Faye concluded his 3-day state visit to Rwanda on Sunday, October 19, 2025, reaffirming the strong bond of friendship and cooperation between Kigali and Dhaka. In a message shared on X, President Faye said his visit concludes under the banner of fraternity and cooperation, expressing gratitude to President Paul Kagame, his government, and the Rwandan people for the warm hospitality extended to him and his delegation. Earlier on Sunday, President Faye joined President Kagame for the monthly car-free day, a popular initiative promoting physical fitness and environmental sustainability. The two heads of the state took part in a 5-kilometer walk through Kigali, a gesture symbolizing health, social cohesion, and shared commitment to protecting the environment. The visit also saw the signing of the 5 new bilateral agreements on Saturday aimed at deepening cooperation and advancing shared development goals across the key sectors. The accords witnessed by both presidents cover visa facilitation, agriculture, health, correction services, collaboration within Rwanda's long-term development framework with Vision 2050. Speaking during the signing ceremony, President Kagame welcomed his Senegal's counterpart, describing the visit as a reflection of the long-standing and productive relationship between the two nations. He further emphasized the central role of Africa's youth in shaping the continent's future, arguing the continued efforts to create opportunities for them to thrive. President Faye, in his remarks, commended Rwanda's remarkable transformation journey under President Kagame's leadership and paid tribute to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. He expressed optimism about the future of bilateral relations, proposing the establishment of the Joint Cooperation Commission to evaluate the current partnership and identify new avenues for collaboration in sectors such as agriculture, education, health, digital economy, air transport, infrastructure, culture, and sports. Turning to our next story, at the Africa Together in the Future Festival held in Moscow at the Senate State of the Gallery, the Ambassador of the Republic of Rwanda, Major General Joseph, addressed the audience, speaking about Rwanda's transformation over the past 30 years and the role of our cultural traditions in the country's socio-economic development. He emphasized Rwanda's commitment to the cause of preserving and promoting its rich cultural heritage. The ambassador thanked the festival of organizers for providing a platform for the Rwanda's culture collective Imena Munganzo, which represented the countries through dance and music. This manifestation of the culture contribute deeper to mutual understanding between Russia and Africa, underscoring the culture exchange strengthened the bonds of the friendship in the spirit of genuine people-to-people diplomacy. The vibrant performance by the Imena Munganzo collectively captivated the audience, bringing the rhyme and pose of the Rwandans to Moscow. Now let's turn our focus to this story, where Rwanda is deepening efforts to enhance artificial intelligence as a key driver of the national development, with the projections indicating that the technology could contribute additionally to $589 million, equivalent to 66% of the GDP to economic each year. The Minister of State in the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, Yves Iradukunda, believed this while presenting the Senator how Rwanda is integrating the AI into its development agenda. He said the government strategy focuses on embodying AI across prioritizing sectors including education, health, agriculture, which directly impacts citizens' livelihoods. Let's take a short break to be back into the international news.
Bakiriya bacu, turabamenyesha ko Danobe Home yabaye Smart Home. Ni impinduka zigamije kongera ibicuruzwa byiza kandi biramba, by'umwihariko ku biciro bibanogeye n'uburyo bwo kwishyura buboroheye. wadusanga aho dukorera KBC Kimihurura cyangwa ugasura urubuga rwacu wa@smarthome.rawa. Wanaduhamagara cyangwa se ukatwandikira ku murongo wa telefone ukurikira 0788 90 50 90.
Let's take a look onto the international news, where the Iran executed a man convicted of the espionage on behalf of the Israeli intelligence agents Mossad, as the Mizan news agents of the Iranian judiciary reported on Sunday. Nidia Naivet proceeds.
Let's start our international news in Kenya, where former Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga was buried Sunday at his Lulo home, as the country, which has previously been marred by post-election violence and anti-government protests, faced political uncertainty. Kenyan leaders present at the burial, including President William Ruto, who signed a political pact with Odinga earlier this year, talked about the need for Odinga's ODM party to remain united and either form or join the next government after the 2027 election. Democracy reformer Odinga was accorded full military honors that included a 17-gun assault by the arm. He was buried next to his father, Jaramogi, who fought for Kenya's independence and was the country's first vice president. Thousands of Kenyan and dignitaries from across Africa attended the final interment of man described as a selfless Pan-Africanist. The wearing mourners breached a security cordon to gain access to the burial site, which was initially only for family members and readers. Odinga, 80, died in India on Wednesday, where he was receiving medical treatment. His body was received by thousands of mourners in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, on Thursday. 4 public viewing events have been held in the past few days, attracting thousands of mourners and leaving 5 people dead and 100 injured during stampede. Though he never succeeded in his 5 campaigns to be president, Odinga entered into political agreement with 3 of country's 5 presidents when tension rose after elections. Ruto said that he would support Odinga's party to remain united and honor the political pact signed earlier in the year that saw opposition members appointed as ministers. Ruto had on Friday said that Odinga helped him steer the country after a political pact signed in March this year, following months of anti-government protests that saw young Kenyans storm and burn part of parliament building. Let's continue our international news in Iran, where Iran executed a man convicted of on behalf of Israel's intelligence agent Mossad. The Mizan news agents of the Iranian judiciary reported on Sunday. The man, whose identity was not revealed, was executed at the prison in Iran's central Qom province on Saturday. Mizan quoted Said Kazem Mossav, the province chief justice, as saying, he added the convict had started his intelligence cooperation with Israel in October 2023 and was arrested in February 2024. The Chief Justice said the man had confessed to having had intelligence cooperation with Israel and was sentenced to death following legal proceedings. Iran's intelligence and judicial authorities has detected the man's activities and prevented the transmission of the country's sensitive data to Israel, according to Mossad. Let's end our international news. The Israel's military said on Sunday a ceasefire in Gaza had resumed after an attack killed 2 of its soldiers and prompted a wave of airstrike. Palestinians said killed 26 people in the most serious test yet of this month's France. US President Donald Trump said the ceasefire he brokered was still in place. Hamas leaders, he said, may not be involved in the violations. Aid into Gaza was set to resume on Monday following US pressure, an Israeli security source said shortly after Israel announced in surprise in response to what it said was a blatant violation by Hamas of the truce. The Israeli military said it struck Hamas targets across the enclave, including field commanders, gunmen, tunnel and weapons depots after militants launched an anti-tank missile and fired on its troops, killing the soldiers. The strikes killed at least 26 people, including at least one woman and one child, according to local residents and health authorities. At least one strike hit a former school, sheltering displaced people in the area of Nusrat, residents said. Trump envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law were expected to travel to Israel on Monday. An Israeli official and U.S. officials said the armed wing of Hamas said it remained committed to the ceasefire agreement, was unaware of crashes in Rafah, and had not been in contact with the group there since March. U.S. Vice President did not mention the Israeli strike when speaking to reporters, but said there were about 40 different cells of Hamas and no security infrastructure yet in place to confirm their disarmament. Yvette Nigen, Mama Rwanda'S TV.
As we come to the news edition today, let's go back with the news headlines. President Boss Diomaye Faye ends the state's visit to Rwanda with a car-free day participation. Rwanda's artificial intelligence drive is expected to add $589 million to the economy annually. On the international scene, Iran's executes a man convicted of spying for Israel. Thanks for having me. Stay tuned.